welcome back to my channel. I am Nicole. Thank you so much for watching today. I just wanted to do an update on the pregnancy so far. I think my last video was at 34 weeks, and it was a very chatty one where I kind of walked you guys through everything that's happened through my pregnancy, just as far as the pregnancy is concerned, from testing to false positives to miscarriage scares, all kinds of things. So if you want to watch that one first, I'll go ahead and link it in the description below, and I would recommend watching that one first, or don't. I mean, do whatever you wish, but that one is very informative. This one should just be super quick because I feel like once you get towards the end of your pregnancy, there's not really a lot of changes per se. You're ready. So that's where we are. So anyways, this is my fourth baby, and it is a little girl. I haven't revealed the name yet, just planning on doing that when I have her. No special reason, it's just fun, I guess. So anyhow, she's doing great. I am today, on the day I'm recording this, I'm actually 36 weeks and 4 days. It will go up tomorrow, so I'll be 36 weeks and 5 days. A little behind on recording it, but that's just, that's the life of a mom. So anyhow, I've got my water here because I can't seem to drink enough of it. I'm currently sitting on a yoga ball, so if you notice me bouncing, that's why, is because nothing is comfortable. So anyways, what has happened since my last video? I have been back to the Women's Center, which is just like triage, 2 times. I was having bleeding, and I have never bled in any of my pregnancies, in the beginning, middle, or towards the end. Like never. I didn't have any implantation bleeding. I didn't have any of the bloody show, or anything like that. Even when I, in my past, I was still with somebody, so, if I was having intercourse or something, I never had that. If I got checked, if I was dilated, never had bleeding. So, I was very concerned when I saw it, about 2 weeks ago, and I was having a lot of cramping, a lot in my low back, and so they told me to go ahead and go into the Women's Center, and I was actually, once they hooked me up to the monitors, I was contracting again every 2 minutes, and they were getting increasingly worse, and she had said, like there wasn't a lot of blood or anything. I wasn't soaking a pad or anything like that. It was more just when I wiped, there was some blood. So it was scary enough for me because, again, I'd never had that. So anyhow, they weren't even concerned at all about the blood, and pardon me, and they were, watching the contractions and things like that. And let's see, on that one, I went in at, I think, about 9:30 at night, and I didn't get home until almost 4 o'clock in the morning. So they were monitoring me for quite a while. They checked me when I got there. I was still 1 centimeter. And she said that the baby's head was lower, but she wouldn't give me numbers. I think she said pliable. I'm not sure the word that she used, but essentially, like, she could feel the baby's head, but it wasn't engaged. She could still, like, it was still bouncy. So she still had a ways to go. They watched the contractions for 2 hours, checked me again, and there was no change. So, again, just more contractions that I'm dealing with that aren't doing anything, which is good because we need her to stay in. But just annoying that I'm going through the pain for nothing. So, or what feels like nothing. Who knows? We'll see. So anyhow, the contractions kept coming, and the nurse had told me that they might do the I think it's terbutaline. I don't know if I'm saying it right. I had mentioned it in my last video, and it's injections that they give you in the back of your arm to stop your uterus from contracting. If you're in actual labor, it won't stop, is what I've heard. But if it's just like the false labor, it does stop. And mine obviously did. And so we're kind of back there again. I had done research since I had gotten the shots, and I was like, I don't want them again. Plus I was, I think I was 35 weeks in one day. And, you know, I said, you know, everything I've read says those shots aren't good for you, and that you shouldn't try to stop labor after 35 weeks. And she's, you know, like, well, you can reject it. So we never got to that, but then I guess she kept having to wake the baby up, which I thought was weird because she's very wiggly and very mobile, and her heart rate was looking good, everything was looking good, blood pressure was looking good, but she kept coming in with like this vibrating, it almost looked like a flashlight, and put it on my stomach. It was like vibrating my stomach to make her move. So they did that for about 2 hours, kind of on and off, and then she decided, I guess the doctor decided they wanted me to go get an ultrasound and make sure that she passed like these 7 or 8 things. I don't know, it's like breathing and swallowing and movement, and I don't really know what else. But anyways, while they were in there, they measured my amniotic fluid, and you know, I had an ultrasound a week and a half before, a week and a day really from that time before, and there was no issues, but this time she had told me that I had too much amniotic fluid, and that could be what's causing the pressure, the bleeding, and the contractions. And then literally she just handed me a piece of paper and was like, you can go home now, no explanation. So I was like, okay. So I got home Saturday morning at 4 o'clock in the morning, and my mom was here. And then all through Saturday I didn't have any bleeding, and then I woke up Sunday and I had significantly more, like you know, where there was almost like some droplets in the toilet. Again, I couldn't soak a pad or anything like that, but any blood, I think when you're pregnant, is just scary. And so yeah, so I called again, and I had noticed the baby wasn't moving very much. And anyways, long story short, I'll cut it off for you now. I went back to the women's center. They monitored me. I did get an explanation as to the amniotic fluid and why it's not concerning, and why they let me go home, and what kind of bleeding to be concerned about, and that she actually thought it was because she said when she was up there that it was just mixed with a lot of mucus, so that it was probably a combination of losing my mucus plug and the bloody show. So I was like, okay, cool. Well, you know, then that means things are moving along. So that was Sunday, and then didn't have anything through the rest of the week. And then I went and I saw my doctor on Thursday, and today is Monday. So 4 days ago I went and saw her, and that was my 36-week checkup. And now I'll see her every week, and baby's looking good, everything's looking good. She explained to me like why I don't need to be concerned about everything, and you know, that all things are fine. So we did talk induction. Now my oldest son, I think I told you guys, he's about to be 15 in a couple days. He is the only one who was not induced. He came on his own at 38 weeks, and everything went smooth, but my labors really do go super duper fast. So I think I started noticing contractions with him at sometime in the morning, you know, 7, 8, 9 o'clock. Took a shower, drove myself to the hospital, and I had him at like 4 with no Pitocin or anything like that. And then my daughter was a scheduled induction from like week 27 at 38 weeks because she was small, she wasn't growing, and they just wanted to get her out. And then my youngest son, Cameron, was a scheduled induction just a day before, actually, because I went in and with false labor, but his heart rate was dipping with some of the contractions. So I went and saw my doctor the next morning, and she told me to go in the next morning and go get induced. So, and that was 38 weeks as well, give or take a day. So, you know, I haven't gone into labor on my own, you know, in, well, almost 15 years. So, you know, it was a long time ago. And because this is my last baby, it is something that I've wanted to do, mainly because I want to experience some of it with my children. Since it's a coronavirus, I'm sure you guys know, you can't have people in the room with you. I think right now, if nothing changes, I get to have one person, and it'll be my mom. I really wanted my kids to be there. They really wanted to be there. You know, and even the realization that they can't even come after, you know, like they don't get to see her until I come home. It's devastating, and you know, women are doing it every day, and it's heartbreaking, and it's something that is so special that, you know, I guess you just don't really think about until you're in the throes of it. And there could be worse things. I completely understand. There definitely could be worse things. But it's sad. And especially, you know, knowing this is the last baby that I will birth, for sure. You know, I wanted it to be kind of a family experience. I was even considering doing a home birth, but I'm horrible with pain. I'm, you know, 99% sure I'm getting the epidural. We'll see how things go. There's a part of me that wants to experience it, but I've experienced like, you know, 5 to 8 centimeter labor, which is like the middle one. And no, thank you. I'm not that tough. I'm mentally tough. I'm not physically tough. So, you know, anyhow, yeah, and I have, just being here with the kids, you know, by myself, I have a lot of things that need to be in order, to get my mom to the hospital, to get the kids watched. And so I've been starting to think about, you know, seeing if I can schedule an induction. And again, if she comes earlier, great. But because my mom works 45 minutes away from me, and if I'm truly in labor, I shouldn't be driving myself. And then I have my kids that need to be watched, and my youngest's father is planning on watching all 3 of my kids, and he needs to be off work for the couple of days while I'm at the hospital because there's nobody to watch him. So if I can get that scheduled for everybody, I just feel like that would make everybody's lives a little bit easier because they're all helping me out. So anyhow, that's kind of what's been on my mind as far as that. And I will see my doctor again on Thursday, and I'm going to talk to her about scheduling an induction. So we will see about that, and God may have different plans, and he may want, you know, her to come earlier, which I am all for her coming earlier, just not much later. So anyhow, as far as how I feel and you know, preparing and all of that kind of stuff and symptoms, she's definitely dropped. And I think I told you guys that in one of my last videos, where I went to the doctor for the ultrasound, and she's definitely dropped. So I can breathe a lot easier as I'm out of breath, but I think you're just out of breath when you're pregnant. But I can take deep breaths and all of that. A weird symptom that I've been having that I do not remember experiencing with any of my kids is I'm not hungry. I go through little bits. Sometimes I wake up in the morning and I feel like I haven't eaten in weeks. But I just wake up, I have a little bit of water and it's gone. And then I don't feel hungry. So breakfast, I've been really trying to make like a humongous plate of fruit, some eggs, whether they're boiled eggs, scrambled eggs or whatever, just to get some protein in. And I think that's it. This morning I had like a bowl of cereal. I had 3 bowls of cereal, if I'm honest, and I actually have my 2 boiled eggs just sitting in the pot in the sink. I just don't feel like eating them yet, and it's about 9:30, and I've been up for about 2.5 hours. So I'm just really not hungry, and I truly haven't been hungry for probably like 3 or 4 weeks. I'm used to eating a lot of food. Even before I was pregnant, I was a power lifter. So I ate a lot of food. So it just seems kind of weird to me. Also, and this may be TMI for some of you, so I apologize, but I am pooping quite regularly. So the meal that I eat is usually on its way out in less than 12 hours. So that's new. I'm not used to that. I'm grateful, but I'm not used to that at all. So, that's good, I guess, but, they say like diarrhea and, the cleansing of your bowels and all of that is an indicator of that labor is coming. My bowels have been cleansed since I turned 30 weeks, so 6 weeks, over 6 weeks. They have been cleansing themselves on a regular, multiple times a day basis. So I can't say that that's true. I can't look to that to say that I'm in labor or getting close, because they're just functioning at a very high level. So anyhow, speaking of that, I did get a question from somebody, and they really wanted me to answer it, and it was if I had any embarrassing stories about farting or pooping or peeing or something like that. I don't know how appropriate the question was, but I'll put it this way: it takes a lot to embarrass me. I think I told you guys my most embarrassing story during my pregnancy was when I was at my checkup and I spilled my pee everywhere. That was really embarrassing. I was embarrassed, but that was more pregnant emotion embarrassment. I think I would have laughed if I wasn't pregnant. Like, go figure, I spilled my pee everywhere. But other than that, I mean, if you're pregnant and you're not gassy, good for you. Holy cow, yes, both ends. And not ashamed. It just is what it is. That's, I think we all fart, toot, whatever you want to call it. And you do it a lot more when you're pregnant. And I pee on myself daily. So whether it's a sneeze, usually when I feel a sneeze coming on, I have to like hurry, clench, hold everything in, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And my kids always look at me like, "Did you pee, Mom? Did you pee? Did you pee?" Because they just think it's hilarious. And it's harder when I'm out and about. So I try to take as many bathroom breaks as I can. If I'm going to stores, the first thing I do is I walk in and I go pee. But I've never pooped on myself during pregnancy. Probably stopped doing that when I was a child. Other than that, but no, it takes a lot to embarrass me for sure. Another question that I was getting, which I'm still not really sure how the comments work, so if you do leave me a comment, I'm still trying to figure out how to navigate it, but I click on this person's comment and it goes away, but I have seen it twice, and they were wondering if my stomach is smaller when I wake up versus towards the evening, if it's bigger. And yes, it's still very pregnant in the morning, but it is definitely a lot flatter and like longer. And then by the end of the day, it's like a very, very round. So I've definitely noticed that. Could be from gas, it could be from food, it could be from a number of things, but I definitely do have that for sure. I still haven't had to deal with any edema or swelling, which I'm grateful for. Little bits here and there. If I go grocery shopping or anything like that, I'll have a little bit in my ankles, but that's about it. I have been dealing with very itchy legs, like restless leg, itchy legs. I'm not sure what to call it, in the evening. With Cameron, my 5-year-old, I was so itchy that I was tearing my skin apart, scratching it, like tearing it apart. I had like welts and scrape marks all over my entire body from itching so bad. I would have my whole family at that time, which was my son's dad and my 2 kids, just rub me in lotion for hours, as many hours as they would. I do not have that this time. I don't know what to attribute it to. This is a girl and he was a boy, maybe. But the only itching that I have that is truly bothersome is towards the evening. My legs get really twitchy, but my daughter, who's almost 13, has been fantastic, and she comes in my room and she rubs my legs and rubs lotion on them for me. It's just the sweetest thing that she could possibly do. I don't think she understands how much it means to me, and that really helps my legs relax. So if you're dealing with that, if you have anybody that can rub your legs, I found even rubbing them on my own makes them feel better too. So if you don't have anybody, you know, rub them on your own too. The other thing having to do with sleeping, other than the crazy dreams, dreams are super crazy during pregnancy. They're very vivid and weird, and some are quite uncomfortable. With my first, I had all the like fear dreams, like that I would forget him somewhere, and like we went out to a restaurant or something, and then all of a sudden I'd be at a friend's house and I'm like, oh my God, where's my baby? I had those dreams like crazy with my first. Now I'm just having dreams that, I mean, if I'm honest, that I'm just sleeping with a whole bunch of different people. Those are my dreams. And it's weird and like, okay, I guess, you know, but a lot of dreams, you know, that I can look down and like my stomach is see-through and I can see her, and then like I pull her out of me and play with her and then like put her back in because I know she's not ready. I've had those dreams. Those are weird. I always have dreams that like their body parts are sticking out, you know, that like you can look at your stomach and it's like a foot and it's, you know, under my skin, but it's like, oh, well, there's a foot, and then I have to like push it back in. And but the dreams are weird. But what I was gonna say is I'm not really hot throughout the day. I keep my fans going. I have a fan on in here. I keep my air conditioning going. But you know, even at night I'm here and I only sleep with my sheet. I don't sleep with any of these blankets. I push them all to the side and I just have a sheet. I wake up in a puddle of sweat every morning, and then I'm so sweaty that when I get up to pee and I go to lay back down, pardon me, I go to lay back down, then I'm cold because the fan is going and it's blowing and I'm wet because I'm soaked from head to toe. I keep thinking that my water broke because that's literally how wet I am from all the sweat. My pillows, you know, the ones that I put in between my legs, one behind my back, they're soaked. So I gotta turn them all over. The one on my head, all of that. And I have to put the sheet back on because I'm cold because I'm so wet, and then it just makes me sweat more. So that's a super fun symptom. It's not at all. But what else? The contractions have not stopped. I've learned that they come at about 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. Some days I'll get them about 6 in the evening, and other nights I'll get them around 9 o'clock in the evening. So essentially what I'm doing now is I just ignore them because I mean, I could count them and there would be enough that, you know, they would want me to go to the doctors, but they're not doing anything. They eventually go away. The night ones, I figure I'm just gonna go to bed, and if they wake me up, then I'm probably in labor, and if they don't, then I'm not. So that's just kind of how I've been approaching the contractions. My doctor said I'm still technically really still just 1 centimeter. When she checked me, she said, you know, you're getting close to 2, but she said she couldn't quite get 2 fingers in there, so maybe 1.5. But the contractions aren't doing anything, so nothing to be concerned about, and sometimes that just happens, which sucks. So if that's happening to you, I'm sorry. I feel you. You know, like, it's not fun. and they are quite uncomfortable. So other than that, I mean, we are just getting so excited. It is so close but so far, and you know, I start talking in things like days, because when I say, oh, about a month, that seems like, oh my God, a month. It seems so far away. Weeks even feel like, oh God, weeks, no. So I've been talking in days. Like, okay, you know, I've got 4 more days, or well now, you know, I've got 3 more days until I'm 37 weeks. Okay, good. And that's kind of where I'm at. I am incredibly impatient. So, you know, I think I've told you guys that, but, you know, I know she's going to get here. I am incredibly grateful, blessed, excited, to meet her and hold her. And I cannot wait to see my children with her. When I brought Cameron home, well, my older 2 came and visited me in the hospital, but they were at just uninterested ages. It's 7 and 9. They just weren't interested, to be honest. You know, I mean, they were like, oh, cool, a baby, but it lasted like a few minutes. Whereas now, even, you know, for my 5-year-old and then a 12 and a 14-year-old, you know, the mindset is totally different. And they are all excited, and they talk to her. And Cameron was laying on my stomach the other day, and she kicked really hard and like kicked him in the face. So it was hilarious. So they've just been really enjoying talking to her, feeling her, you know, so it's been really fun. And I'm so grateful for the opportunity. I am so ready for it to be over and get home and get healing. I did rearrange my room, if you noticed from where I'm sitting. My window is right here, so my bed was over here, but my sweet, wonderful neighbors, oh my gosh, if you're watching, thank you. You guys are so kind. They're letting me use, this is the Halo, I think it's the swivel or something like that. I don't know the different names, but it kind of like moves in and moves back out. I don't know if that's where it's gonna stay, but I'm assuming that's where she'll take her naps and stuff. And then at night she'll be in bed with me in a co-sleeper that I have. So they're letting me use that because they might have another kid. So, you know, I'm going to give that back when I don't need it anymore. But I'm so grateful to be able to use it. So I got that over there. And the reason I wanted it out of the way is because it has like really long legs. I think if you look over, I don't know how to point, right there, you can see one of the legs. And the last thing I want to do in the middle of the night is get up and stub my toe on that. So I wanted it out of the way, but I still wanted to be able to use it. So I think I'm going to do a video. You know, I only have a couple left that I'm going to do. I do have a prep video coming of just kind of what I did food wise to prep for the baby. I won't show you guys like all the cooking and stuff. Actually, my kids did it all and there is no cooking, but just kind of what I did. And the freezer I got to be prepared for postpartum. And then so I have that one coming, and then I think I want to do just kind of like a baby essentials, very like minimalistic. This is my 4th kid. I've wasted plenty of, I can't stop giving. I've wasted plenty of money before buying stuff that I never used. So just kind of want to do a video of what I have, what I paid, where I got it, how I got it, and things like that. So definitely if you're interested in those videos, stick around, subscribe, but also let me know below if there's a video that you would be interested in me doing before the baby comes, which is pretty soon. So anyways, that's really it. Not a lot different from my 34 week. I'm bigger, which is, you reach a point where you don't think you can get any bigger, but you do. You get bigger, but still going strong. I still have plenty of energy, nothing too crazy. I love the smell of Clorox wipes. And so, you know, I've been cleaning and trying to keeping things clean, you know, but other than that, you know, it's just day by day, just getting through the days, trying to get plenty of sleep. and eat when I can eat, eating as healthy as possible, though don't get me wrong, I do get into some snacks, but I'm sure that's okay. So anyways, you guys, I thank you so much if you made it this far to me blabbing. Looks like another 30-minute video. I guess I talk a lot, I'm sorry. But anyways, thank you guys so much for following along on my journey. I'm super excited to share this with you. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe and like button. I am trying to grow my channel. I hope to one day be a YouTube mom. I know I'm far away from that, but it really, really does help me out. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in